If I ask you what factors could endanger the national security of South Korea, the first thought that will likely come to your mind is North Korea. You might say that having Kim Jong un as a neighbor means his military aggression poses a significant threat to South Korea. That's absolutely correct. If we think a bit further, we could argue that if Xi Jinping motivates his military a little more, tensions in the South China Sea could escalate, which would also present challenges for South Korea. This too is a valid concern. Beyond military threats, consider a scenario where motivated Chinese scientists create something that shuts down the world again, disrupting global trade and supply chains. This, without a doubt, would cause significant problems for South Korea. It is another clear threat. Then if you are not a fan of Trump and believe the climate crisis is real, it is evident you would point to rising sea levels and extreme weather events as major risks for South Korea. And you would be right. These are indeed substantial threats to the country's national security. However, we won't focus on these issues today. Instead, we'll discuss another pressing matter that could pose a serious threat to South Korea's national security in the near future.
Military aggression from China and North Korea, climate crisis, and trade disruptions. These are all external challenges. They undoubtedly pose significant threats to South Korea. However, alongside these, there is a pressing internal challenge that risks national security: a shrinking population. Yes, South Korea's population is declining. Fewer children are being born, while the number of elderly people is increasing. Although millions globally are joining the BTS army, finding recruits for the South Korean army is becoming increasingly difficult. Meanwhile, the neighboring supreme leader commands an army with over 1.1 million troops, and there is no shortage. North Korea has such an abundance of personnel that troops were immediately sent to assist Russia when needed. Currently, North Korean troops are enjoying internet access in Russia. In contrast, South Korea has only 40% of North Korea's troop numbers, and even maintaining this is becoming a challenge. Despite advancements in high-tech warfare, manpower remains crucial for national defense. Human resources are indispensable. If this trend continues, South Korea's military strength will diminish significantly, further widening the gap in troop numbers between the two Koreas. This could lead to severe national security risks, as the country's overall power may be compromised due to a population shortage.
To understand why South Korea's population is shrinking, you need to understand the concept of total fertility rate, or TFR. TFR refers to the average number of children a woman is expected to give birth to during her entire lifetime. For example, in the African country of Niger, the TFR is 6.65. This means that, on average, one woman gives birth to 6.65 children in her lifetime. Suppose there are 100 women. Some may have 6 children, some may have 4 or 5, and others may have 7 or 8. In total, these 100 women would have 665 children. So on average, each woman would have 6.65 children. Now that you understand TFR, let's look at South Korea. South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in the world, with a TFR of only 0.72. This means that currently 100 women in the country, on average, give birth to only 72 children in their lifetime. Now these 100 women would not be having children alone. 100 men would also be involved in the process. So together, 100 women and 100 men, a total of 200 people, are bringing 72 new people into the world. When these 200 people pass away, how many will be left behind? Only 72. Thus, 200 will leave and only 72 will replace them, leading to a population decline.
If the population is to be kept stable, then 200 people together will need to produce 200 children. In fact, a few extra children will need to be born because some will not survive. And among those who do survive, not all will become parents in the future due to health reasons or personal choices not to have children. Taking these factors into account, it is believed that if 200 people collectively produce 210 children, with 10 extra, the population will remain stable. However, in South Korea, 200 people together are producing only 72 children. This is why the population is shrinking. Factors such as long working hours, high cost of living, and the 4B movement are contributing to this population decline. The 4B movement has gained popularity in South Korea as a stand against the country's patriarchal norms. Women in this movement reject gender inequality, gender-based violence, and societal pressure. They believe that having a relationship with a man compromises their autonomy and subjects them to traditional societal expectations. By rejecting these norms, they distance themselves from the traditional setup of dating, marriage, intercourse, and childbirth. The 4B movement is also gaining traction in other countries. This reluctance toward marriage and parenthood is deterring family formation and childbirth, leading to fewer people choosing to have children. As a result, we are witnessing low fertility rates in many countries, including South Korea.
So, what is the problem with having low fertility rates? Look, if there are fewer people, there will be a labor shortage in the country, and issues with military recruitment will arise. Medical science has made significant progress, increasing people's lifespans, so individuals are living longer. As a result, the number of elderly people in the country has risen. There is now a shortage of working age individuals, and the number of dependents has increased. Consequently, taxpayer money, instead of being allocated to areas like defense, education, and infrastructure, is being redirected to healthcare and elder care. The social impact is also evident. With fewer children, there is no one to care for elderly parents. South Korea's exceptionally low fertility rate is negatively affecting society, the economy, and the military. Population decline is making it difficult to maintain the troop levels needed for national defense. Military readiness is suffering because of this. Additionally, funds are needed to modernize the military. Advanced military technologies are very expensive, and these funds are falling short because economic productivity and growth are declining due to the shrinking workforce. This raises the question, is South Korea capable of defending itself? Will it be able to deter enemy aggression? We have already seen in the Russia-Ukraine war how important manpower and conscription are. For these reasons, the shrinking population has become a significant threat to the national security of South Korea.